Hi, I'm Isabella. I am on a hair journey and I think this heatless straightening method is something that everyone who's trying to grow long, healthy hair with minimal heat damage should know. I did not invent this method, but I've been doing this for 7 years. It's a lifesaver and I'm going to show you how to do it. FYI, this is also a great way to preserve already straightened hair, as in flat ironed. I made my straightened hair last 4 days perfectly in my 7 days of hair care video with this method. You could also use this method before straightening your hair, which means you won't need to use as much heat to get it straight, therefore less heat damage to your precious hair. You will need a large silk or satin scarf, some hairpins or duckbill clips, some water in a spray bottle, something to clip up your hair, and a dense bristle hairbrush. Ball bristle is great, but if you don't have one, do your best with your normal hairbrush. A fine tooth comb can also work. And optionally, a wig cap and some hair serum or hair oil. Here's how you do it. Start by detangling your hair. I've let my hair air dry to show you how this works on my frizzy, wavy, natural hair, but this also works on curlier hair types. You just need to be a lot more thorough with it. It's best to do this on freshly washed hair that's mostly dry but still a bit damp. If not, you can spray it with a water bottle, which is what I'm going to do. Start by taking the crown section of your hair. I do this by drawing a circle with my thumbs around the crown and then clip this up. If you have a lot of hair, you can go with option 2, which is to take a bigger crown section, more like this size, and I'll show you why in a minute. But as I am not blessed with a whole lot of hair, I am just going to go with option 1 and clip up just a normal sized crown section. Here I'm spraying with water. I sprayed it section by section, but it's probably easier just to do it all at the beginning. Now you just need to start brushing the front section over and across, and we're going to wrap all of our hair around our head bit by bit. I usually get the front section nice and flat, then go right from my ear, brush it all through, get that section as flat as possible before continuing to wrap it all the way around. Then clip the hair flat to your head as you go, and you can spray more water to help, just don't soak it. The curlier your hair is, the more you need to work on brushing through and smoothing it out as flat to your head as possible, and you might need to use more clips, but I do realize I have an advantage as my hair is not very curly. Then you're going to follow it round, smoothing and brushing and pinning as you go and keeping tension with the hair to make sure it's securely wrapping against your head. I usually add a pin right here to stop the hair from lifting and getting caught up when we brush out the crown section. So keep going round until you reach the ends of your hair and make sure it's secured down. I've been doing this so long that I don't need to use that many pins, but when you start out, you'll probably need to use a lot more. Now we move on to the crown section. But if you're doing option 2, meaning you took a bigger crown section, this is what you're gonna do. Take it out, create a smaller crown and pin that up again. With this new section of hair, you're going to repeat what you just did. Wrap it around again like I'm showing here. For me, I usually go with option 1, which is just one section. So now we're up to speed, let's move on to the crown section. First, I'm detangling and wetting the hair, and I've found the best way is to split it into 2 pieces and cross them over at the back and wrap them round. To make this easier, I clip one half out of the way, then I work on brushing through and smoothing out the other side. Just be really careful not to accidentally disturb any of the hair you just wrapped. And I start with the direction that I've already been going in and begin wrapping it around the same as before. Doing the back can be a little trickier because depending on the shape of your head, sometimes there's not much for it to wrap around, so you just have to do the best you can, but it does get easier with practice. Then go ahead with the other side, crossing it over and wrapping it in the other direction and secure it in place. When it's all done, it should look something like this. Now, if you do have a wig cap, you can put this on. Just make sure to remove any excess clips that you won't be able to access from the sides. If you don't have a wig cap, don't worry, you can do it with just a scarf, but a wig cap can basically just help to keep your hair a little bit more secure and get it a bit flatter. I like this netted one because I find that other ones can be a bit too tight and they can cause me to get a bit of a tension headache. So make sure it's comfortable, and also make sure you can still access the clips from the sides. Now take your silk or satin scarf. I use a large square scarf for this because I like to be able to wrap it around my head twice. So the smaller scarves don't usually work for me, but sometimes you just need to experiment with what you've got. For this size, just fold it into a triangle, place it over your head. Usually I place it a bit past my hairline. Take the ends round the back, cross them, bring them back round and tie them at the front. And don't worry, you can adjust the tightness later. Then pull the excess fabric down at the back to make sure it's flat to the back of your head and secure. Now you can carefully remove the clips, making sure not to disturb the hair, and replace them over the scarf. This is why it's better to use clips that glide smoothly without catching, otherwise it can mess up the result. Bobby pins usually work great. I used to use them, but they can leave little crimps in your hair, so duckbill clips or flat clips seem to be the best option. I take out the clips at the back because I'm a back sleeper, but I do try to put bobby pins behind each ear, which helps it stay on throughout the night, and also in front of the ear usually helps as well. Once everything is clipped in place, you can go ahead and loosen or tighten the scarf to your liking. And that's it. I like to do this overnight, but you can do it in the daytime too. Just make sure your hair's fully dried before taking it out. And in the morning, don't be disheartened if it's fallen out. It can take a bit of trial and error to get it secure. Sometimes mine still falls out when I try to get away with using less clips, but I usually still get pretty good results. It will look a bit crazy at first, but just follow through, brushing it out. And this is the result, and I like to go in with some hair oil or serum to finish it off. The reality of this method is it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you might miss some spots, or you can be left with little crimps from the clips. These do tend to fade out after an hour or two, but considering the difference it made to my hair and the manageability without the need for heat tools, for me this method is definitely worth doing. That's why I've been doing it for so many years. So I hope you'll give it a go, and I hope you can find a way for it to work for you. If you want to see how I plan to grow my dry hair type to waist length, check out this video here, or you can click here to see what kind of videos I make on my second channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.